We're answering the question, who is the face of lust in the Bible? Is the boy who could not zip up. This is in 2 Samuel 13, an account of 40 exploits which lust accomplished through this man called Amnon. Lust infatuated Amnon towards a close relative. In other words, he got an incestuous crush on his stepsister. Lust distressed Amnon. He lost his focus and could not think straight. Amnon got sick. Yes, lust does make people sick and mentally unstable. Judgment and good senses impaired. Amnon lost his appetite, and he would not eat for days on end. The lack of feeding led to malnourishment. In an open secret, his visage began to show. Jonadab noticed that Amnon was physically wasting away, so he confronted him into confession. Lust exposed Amnon's twisted tastes for illegitimate sex. At last, he confessed his secrets to a confidant. Lust seeks to express itself fully. It's not merely pacified within the sanctum of secret longings. No, the evil spirits behind all lust, they seek to exploit among the children of men. Lust speaks. At least Amnon confessed to Jonadab what was distressing him. What he calls love for the stepsister is actually not love, but lust. Lust ignores wrong relationships and goes ahead to forge dead-ended deals. Even though Amnon knows such a relationship has no future, he still cultivates the doomed experience. Lust lies. Amnon called the dad and lied about his health and his intentions. Lust plots and schemes. Jonadab advised Amnon to take his lust to the next level by playing dirty tricks. Lust, like misery, loves and seeks company. Those who embrace riotous thoughts share and play out their dark fantasies any day. Jonadab didn't think Amnon's fantasies were dangerous either. Instead, he encouraged and inspired and inflamed their total fulfillment. Lust ogles. The innocent maiden came to Amnon's room to cook for him. Meanwhile, all the while, Amnon feasted his eyes on her lustfully. Every move she made was interpreted through eyes full of lust. Lust is dark. Amnon asks the princess to get her attendants and helpers out of his house. This privatization of the moment is like going incognito. No witnesses must observe the dirtiest mind in town bared. Lust wastes and abuses others, trashes. After all the wonderful kindness Tamar did in the house of Amnon, the evil man never acknowledged any of them apart from his pound of flesh. Lust ignores all the boundaries. Amnon asks Tamar to get the cakes to the bedroom so that he may eat the same from his hand. That is asking to be spoon-fed. For a grown-up, really? Lust exploits space. As long as she was away, physically away in some sense of form, she was safe. However, when Tamar crossed the last barrier and obliged to get into Amnon's bedroom alone, she sealed her fate. Lust fools around. Even when no danger is sensed, always guard your space. Even if you are not lusting yourself, you can't tell about your colleague or the person you're with. Lust is unreasonable. It does not listen to any pleas or compromise. It doesn't negotiate. Even after Tamar pleaded with Amnon not to rape her, he was resolute. Lust is impatient to conquer those in its power. Lust takes advantage of the weak. Only the strong survive. Lust rapes. Lust dumps. Lust hates. Lust shames. Lust trashes. It disgraces and humiliates its prey. Lust breaks the law. norms, morals, and social values. Nothing is ever sacred to lust. Lust makes a religion of itself. Lust is remorseless. Amnon feels nothing after his heinous crime. No record of his regret, discipline, or apology appears in the record. Indeed, it appears that he got worse after this dark episode. No one can remain the same, unchanged by such a wicked act. In a way, it also changed Amnon. Even if he was not a hater, he became a hater. The foul, lying demons of lust, which inspired the forced entry into Tamar, quickly summoned more wicked spirits for company in the life of Amnon. Thus lust, once embraced and expressed, without any external rebuke or penalties applied, gets kinkier and bolder. Once a rapist, always a rapist. Rape is the ultimate violation of human will. Consent and human freedom are trashed, taken down the drain, while dictatorship is aptly glorified. This thing greatly angered the king and as many people as sympathized with the vandalized girl Tamar. Absalom went beyond anger to something more sinister: vengeance. Absalom began to plot the death of Amnon from the day he raped the sister. Thus lust brings swift judgment on those who express its stained sins. Lust kills. Amnon died prematurely simply because he could not keep a zip up. He was murdered by interested parties in a matter which he took lightly and forgot. Sad for him, some men, some families never forget a slight, not when you mess with their daughter. The same wicked forces which plot rape are the same forces which plan to eliminate others in cold blood. Absalom murdered his own brother in cold blood. In one person, the devil inspires rape, while simultaneously is whispering murder to the other aggrieved party. This is divide and rule, the signature of Satan applied, which is all too obvious to see in the story of Amnon. Let's not embrace lust. Let's not fall for the ways of lust. Let's never think of entertaining some thoughts in our lives. If you ever think of raping somebody, flee. This is the only sin that we are taught to flee from. Instead of Amnon having gone to hide in his house and pretending to sleep and waited for his victim there, he should have just asked for time out and away for 1 month or 2, and perhaps when it would have come, he would have had a conversation with himself, and he would not have perpetrated the crime that led to his very premature death. Why would you want to die prematurely? Flee from sexual immorality. God bless you. Subscribe and share the message, and let's keep encouraging one another, especially as we see the day approaching. Amen and amen.